Hey yo, what's up? So this video, uh, it's about how you can really know if you like someone, slash if you're friends with someone, or you want to meet new people, if you should be friends with them, and if you're gonna be good friends with them, based on the mental state that you and them are in. So right, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help all of you who are trying to meet new people. Um, but some of those people might not be on the same level as you are mentally, and that's why it can be hard to connect with people. Also, if you have different interests, obviously. I like to put it in different categories, really, of how much you enjoy talking to someone and how much they're really in tune with what's going on around them and how they face their problems, right? Because, if you have a friend who maybe smokes or something like that, who drinks, right, at 13 or something like that, right? Or if they're older and they still smoke and drink, you don't like that. The problem is you can't help them like 50 to 60% of the time because they want to quit, but they're just not mentally ready to quit yet, which is hard to realize. Um, but I mean, say you know someone who vapes. They're 13. You're 13. You want to become friends with them. They are at a lower mental status than you are. If you're like me, right, a person who may not on the surface seem like it, but someone who really does care about their own problems and care about other people's problems as much as I do, right, myself. And it's hard to face hard to talk to those people, right? Because if you have a friend who vapes, they go, "Oh, I just want my life to end." It's not gonna, and you have to face that kind of hard reality of, your life just won't end even if you want to. Things will never slow down to the pace you want them to be because that's not how the world works, and they want it to work that way. If you want to be a stronger person mentally, uh, most of my friends that I know are at the same mental status that I am. Someone who realizes their problems, fixes them, and is actually nice to people the first time they meet them, right? Because I've met people who come up to me and cuss me out the first second that I even talk to them. That is a horrible first impression, right? And I don't know, you realize, right, if you're talking to someone and they're like, I do this, I do that, and you get to know them a little bit better, if you realize that they're smoking, they're vaping, and all this like other stuff, if they're doing illegal things, or if you're doing things that you just think is wrong, that's actually wrong, it's hard to talk to them about it. But think in your mind, is this person on the same mental algorithm that I'm on, right? Because most of my friends, I realize with them, they think the way I do, right? They think they know that bad's bad and that good's good, and maybe joking around with your friends isn't horrible, but really, you're a good person. You don't smoke because you realize that a lot of smoking and vaping is about how someone covers up what they don't want to face the reality yet, right? If you've had trauma in the past, it's hard to deal with, and that's what they resort to because it takes away that pain. But it just makes the pain worse in overall because they're not ready yet. And that's the thing. All of us are ready, right? When something strikes us, right? Even if it's something small, you don't want to go to your next class, Or if it's something bigger, it's hard, your dad's having issues and it's hard to live there. Or something like that, right? All these problems really come from that factor, in my mind, of when you're talking with another person and they just don't want to face what's reality, it's hard to deal with for me. It doesn't make me think that you're weaker. It makes me think that you're differently minded than I am, right? Because, I mean, me personally, right? Someone who doesn't smoke and doesn't do illegal things realizes that reality is reality. The world doesn't revolve around you, and it's hard to say that, right? But I can say that myself. I'm not the only one in this world. Other people have feelings, and I know myself that being a good person does matter, right? And if you're friends with someone who thinks opposite of what you do, you're probably not going to be friends for a long time. Even if you've been friends with them for 1, 2, 3 years, or 3 months, 3 days, it's probably not going to work out if you don't think the same, right? Because if you're talking to somebody, right, you're friends with them, you start talking to them more and more and more, right? If it's a girl, if it's a boy, it doesn't matter. And they start talking about things you don't like, and if you really think in your mind, is this hurting them? Right? And it is. That's the difference. Right? If I'm smoking, right? If I were to do that, I'm not facing my problems. I'm pushing them on for later, and it makes a bigger deal out of it than it really has to be. Right? You have to eventually move on from your problems. All your trauma. Trauma's hard to deal with. And that's not a fake thing to say. Or a bad thing to say. Trauma's hard to deal with. Problems are hard to deal with. But that's the point. You deal with those so you become a better person. Right? And if you put it off, say it's okay. Say, oh, just steal that. Nah, you don't have to pay for it. Nah. Go try a sip of this. It'll get you good. No. No. That's just not how, like, really that works. You know? You have to be as nice to other people and as caring to other people as you want to be to yourself, right? And that's probably cringe to say, but it really is true, right? I mean, not everybody has as good as you have it. Some people would love to be you, right? So the main point I'm trying to say here is if they're on a different mindset than you mentally in a different area, it's harder to talk to them and be rational with them as another person who's on the same thought pattern as you, right? If I took one of my friends, for example, right? I'm not going to say his name, but me and him been friends about maybe 5 years now, right? Me with him, we can sit down and have a conversation about the mind, the way people think, what's good and bad, and we're going to agree on everything, right? If someone's not agreeing with you about how things work in your mind, well, psychologically, right, you can disagree on that, but if it's about good and bad, then you should stop talking to them, right? Because if they think smoking's fine, I'll just, not a big deal, I'll eventually lose it, something like that, right? No. I mean, you could, but right now, it's taking such a toll on your mental health, and you don't even realize it. So what I'm trying to say is choose your people wisely. Choose your friends wisely. Who you hang out with. The people you hang out with, the people you do stuff with, the people you talk to, have an effect on you, no matter what.